For this lesson, we're going to draw a 12 pi color wheel. What you're going to need is a compass. Doesn't have to be that particular compass, but this is what a compass is so that you can draw circles. A ruler, and I'm using a B pencil. And of course, this is an 11 by 14 sheet of Bristol board. The measurements, before we draw the circle, you're going to draw a square, because a circle fits perfectly within a square, and the square is going to give us some of the landmarks that we need to make our pie with. Okay, so you're going to orient your paper horizontally like this, and you're going to draw, measure 3 inches in. Move this light a little bit because I'm getting a glare. So you're going to measure 3 inches in from the edge, and then again at the bottom 3 inches in from the edge, and then draw your straight line. It's just a guideline, so don't draw it too heavy because you're going to want to erase it afterwards. I'm going to draw just a little bit darker so that you can see it in the video. And then you're going to do the same thing on the right side. Move that light. So you're going to measure 3 inches in on the right side. You always want to make 2 stitch marks spaced far apart so that you get a straight line that doesn't pivot. Okay. So this is 3 inches, 3 inches, and then this is going to be 1.5 inches up here. And 1.5 inches at the bottom. This gives you an 8 by 8 inch square. The next step is we want to bisect the square. And so you're going to find the exact center by aligning your ruler up right at the vertex, diagonal vertices of the square. And you're going to create just a light line in the middle. And you're going to do the same thing with the opposite vertices. So I've created an X, and this, where these 2 lines cross, is the exact center. So now I'm going to measure this distance. It's 4 inches, which makes sense, right? Because this is 8 by 8 inches. So I'm going to come up here and mark off 4 inches, and then I'm going to draw a center line, and I'm just going to go ahead and dash the center line, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. Now, because I know it's 4 inches, we'll go ahead and double check. Yep, 4 inches. So this is how you bisect any rectangle or square. So now I have an 8 by 8 inch square that is bisected into 4 quadrants. The next step is to take your compass, and you're going to create a circle. So you want to align the metal end of the compass up with the center of the paper, and then open your compass until it reaches the tangent right here, this cross where these 2 lines cross. And you're going to make a circle. Okay, so now that you have your circle inscribed within your square, now we're going to create the pie sections. Okay, so you're going to take the metal end and you're going to place it at the intersection between the center line and the circle, and the radius, right, will reach the center. So you don't need to draw the full circle, just come over here to the edge and put a stitch mark. And then come over here to this edge of the circle and put a stitch mark. So we're going to do that with all 4 tangents. Okay, so a tangent is where a line intersects the outer part of a curve at one point. You should have 2 stitch marks in each quadrant. Now we're going to align our ruler up to this intersection, passing through the center, and it should line up with the intersection of the stitch mark on the opposite side. We're just going to draw a line. Now this line can be dark because you're going to keep it. You're going to do that with each crossing set of lines through the center. To the opposite side. Make sure you go through the center. And then you can go ahead and make your center lines darker. And there's your 12 pi. Now I'm going to erase the excess. If you keep your lines, your guidelines light like they're supposed to, when you go to erase the excess, you don't have to do that much work and you won't have any traces left like this. That's about as clean as mine's going to get. So the next step is I'm going to have you label these, right? So let's go ahead and you turn the paper just a little bit so that at the top you can label this one yellow. And then I want you to count 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and put 1, 2, 3 on there so you don't get confused. And you'll label this red. And then again, count 1, 2, 3. And you're going to label this blue. And go ahead and count 1, 2, 3. Okay? So yellow, red, and blue are going to be your primary colors. Yellow and red, when you mix them, you'll get orange. So I want you to label this tube between the yellow and the red orange. When you mix blue and red together, you're going to get, ideally, you would get a violet or purple. Ideally. Okay. And then when you mix blue and yellow together, you'll get a green. So you label this green. The green, so the yellow, red, and blue are your primaries. The green, orange, and purple or violet are going to be your secondaries. Your tertiary colors are going to be when you mix yellow and orange together, you get yellow-orange. Red-orange, This would be more like a maroon. When you add purple and the red together, you get like a maroon. Not maroon. Like a brick color. Then when you put blue and purple together, you get a blue violet. Let's see what the color wheel says on the professional color wheel. So red violet, so this would be red violet. Okay. And this is going to be blue green. And this one will be yellow green. This is what you're going to submit for milestone 1 of the color wheel.